you're a fan of Parks and Rec, how would you describe that show to someone who's never seen it? You might say it's something like The Office meets The West Wing. Sure, that's a little bit of a stretch, but that's the general concept behind something we call TV formulas. If you like these two shows, you might like this third show. And Audrey has cooked up 5 TV formulas to describe new and upcoming shows on Peacock that you might enjoy. So Audrey, what do you have for us here?
Sure. I think we're going to start with everyone's favorite submarine drama, Vigil. On Peacock. So if you like NCIS and you like Sequest, perhaps you will like Vigil because it is underwater and there is crime.
Missed opportunity to have Deep Blue Sea here. Just saying. Like
I considered it. That was a consideration. I don't know what kind of a formula it is, like plus times or divided by equals, but we could have done that. But yeah, like David and I mentioned, Vigil is like a Scottish/British drama on Peacock where there is a crime committed on a submarine and a police officer is sent underwater onto the submarine, like helicoptered in. It's like very, gives me the heebie-jeebies. And she goes on board and she's investigating and there's lots of like twists and turns and who's a good guy, who's a bad guy, what's going on. And then she has a partner on the police force who's like sending her secret coded messages because they're like trying to crack the case both on land and in sea. And it's very interesting. I just stumbled on it and really liked the submarine aspect, which sounds so weird. But I think just because there aren't a lot of submarine shows and it was very interesting, like that dynamic and like all the chambers and the missile decks. And I don't know, I thought it was cool to see. But yeah, if you like those, you might like Vigil.
Do you not think it feels claustrophobic? Like and
so
also,
claustrophobic.
Audrey, have you ever chartered a submarine?
Negative. No, but maybe you, as a charter of yachts, would charter a submarine.
No, I'm also just confused with like why they brought in a cop here. Like, isn't there naval law like where they have like their own, whatever you call it, like police force or thing for like for boat stuff.
Boat stuff, yes, but like they might be baddies too, so they had to bring in an outsider.
Yeah, well, the way they described it in the show was that it happened technically in like British waters, so they had to bring in someone from Great Britain to study it or whatever. I forget the logic, but like that was why they did it. And I was so interested. I don't know if it's factually based at all, but how she got into the submarine. I was
so crazy.
More interested about her being helicoptered into that and seeing it like come up to surface and how they got her on there. That was the most interesting part to me. And I'm like, I wonder if that's real.
They usually, I mean, at least from media that I've seen, doesn't it just like surface to like a little bit, all the water comes off the top and then they open up a hatch and like they just drop right in, right?
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But it was still really interesting.
As someone who's chartered submarines before, I can tell you that if you're boarding from the middle of the ocean, that's exactly how it happens.
It's also worth mentioning that Vigil's from the same people who do Line of Duty and Bodyguard. If you like really love those, I think most of us really loved at least Bodyguard and Line of Duty. So it's like the same vibe as those shows. What else you got?
Vigil. Next, I think we have, if you like The Simple Life and Say Yes to the Dress, you might love, anyone? Paris in Love. I think you guys can guess here. So Paris Hilton starred in The Simple Life. She's planning a wedding, so we threw in a little like dress shopping vibe and you get Paris in Love. Scott talked about this a little bit already. It's like her and her fiance Carter's like journey to the aisle. Some probably real, some probably very much over the top. But you do get like a good look. And like, I knew nothing about him going in. That was actually the most interesting part to me. Like I didn't know who he was. Like, you could have told me anything and I would have been like, oh, okay. So getting to see who he was and learning about him and like their dynamic was very interesting to me.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see her like perfectionist like vibes in action, like the moment when she was performing or DJing his Carter's sister's wedding or something, and she was like freaking out because she couldn't do a sound check beforehand, and like all of the pressure that she felt to like be perfect, because at any time someone could pull out a camera and be like, haha, look at her, she doesn't know what she's doing. Like, she has to be like on all the time. Like, so it's really cool to see that side of her, and just kind of, you can actually like hear and see when she like drops her character that she normally puts on. And like we've talked about this before on the show. Yeah. Like David and I have gone into this like in detail, just talking about from the times that we've interviewed her. So yeah, love this show. I can't wait to see where it ends up. We're kind of wrapping it up soon, I think, right? We're episode 8 or 9 now, so
yeah,
stick with it. It's worth it, I promise. Yeah.
David, no thoughts on Paris?
I got nothing. Got
nothing. Great. All right, moving on.
Wow.
If you like The Real Housewives of Orange County and Courtney and Chloe Take Miami, which, like, wow, what a gem that was, and so long ago, and they look so different. You might love The Real Housewives of Miami, which I talked about. Just came back. I think we're on the 5th episode now. Bravo had the first 3 seasons. Peacock is bringing this back now for season 4 as an original. There is lots of spicy drama, as you would imagine. The houses are insane. The fashion is insane. All of the things that you would expect from a Housewives franchise. But the characters are interesting. There's a new character named Dr. Nicole, and she's an anesthesiologist and a mom of a toddler. So I feel like they're like branching out with their casting, which is nice to see. And yeah, like I said, I've watched all of the episodes so far. I feel like Scott would probably get into this. David, again, is going to be like, I have nothing to say on this one. But Scott loves the housewife situation, so he should check it out. And
I'm a new Housewife fan. But yeah, I haven't seen this one yet, but it sounds like vibes that I could jam on. So I'm here. Yeah. Sign me up. Let's go.
And you'll feel like you're on vacation, which...
needed, honestly.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so next, everyone can probably guess this one. If you smash together MacGyver and SNL, you will get McGruber. I always want to say McGruber, and I know that's wrong. McGruber. So people love. I know. I have Yellow Jackets like grubs on my mind. People, the McGruber movie like has such a cult following, and I was actually surprised that it took this long to bring it to TV form. I feel like usually those things happen pretty quickly. So this one's been in the works for a while. So this debuted on Peacock right around Christmas time, and is super fun. So I think, again, if you're just looking for some layback, just watch something fun, easy, like really silly and over the top, McGruber is the one for you. And if David had anything to say at any time, maybe this is it.
Yeah, no? This would be it. I interviewed Will Forte a couple times, but the first time I interviewed him was for a dramatic movie he did called Nebraska several years ago. And even when I talked to him then, he said they were working on a McGruber TV series, and that was years and years and years ago. So it's been a long time coming. It's really fun to see like Ryan Phillippe or Philippe, however you say his name, and Kristen Wiig step back into these roles from that movie, because like they've gone on to do so many other things since then, but they've all come back for this series, and it is like classic McGruber. He's like crude and like just kind of an idiot and like nude a lot for some reason, but it's great. It's a lot of fun. If you like McGruber and like that vibe, like don't think this is going to be a serious like serious at all. It's ridiculous. And like, that's what it is. So go in with that mindset.
Yeah. It's not a dramatic retelling of the movie. It is just the movie in TV form.
Right.
But I will say, like, huge talent also, like Kristen Wiig and like Ryan Phillippe, like big names that are, you know, on Peacock in the series, which is
and Billy Zane. Billy Zane plays the villain, and I love how like this series, like Val Kilmer played the villain in the movie, and he hadn't done like something like that for a while, and hasn't really done much since. But like Billy Zane, when was the last time you thought about our boy Billy?
Titanic.
Here he is, resurrected. I once asked Billy Zane if a real man really does make his own luck, referencing one of his famous lines from Titanic. And he gave me like a super serious answer. I'm like, I was just kidding, dude.
I
mean, I was serious, but I thought he was going to have fun with it, and he didn't. But he was a nice guy anyway. Billy Zane's a nice guy, but anyway.
Way to drag Billy Zane all over this. Like...
Sorry, Billy Zane. Imagine Billy Zane's watching on Twitter right now, like,
I knew it was a joke.
It's David.
Oh God.
Okay, and our last equation we have here is, if you like Lip Sync Battle and The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, you will also probably enjoy That's My Jam.
That was actually really good, Audrey. Wow.
It was.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it sounded good.
I didn't practice at all. I always have a harmonica and a maraca next to my computer in case like the moment arises, and it just happened to work. So this show is super fun. I think we've all watched this, and it's, you know, similar to like segments that Jimmy's done on his show, where he pulls his celebrity friends and guests in and makes them play silly musical games, guessing games, and it's really just that in a whole show form, and it's super fun. So Scott, you watch this? David, you've watched it?
I did. I've watched a couple episodes of this now, and I really enjoyed it. I felt like the first episode with the voice judges felt a little bit more forced than like the second episode, which was like a little bit more organic and fun. And but it's also made me feel really old, because like Ariana Grande not knowing like some of the answers to these questions, and I was just like, how does she not? She doesn't know, like, how old am I? Like, isn't she like, how old is she? Like, what is happening right now? But yeah, it's fun. It's cool. And I mean, we love a music themed television show, and anything that's like gamified, sign me up. Let's do it.
Yeah. And I love that it's a mix of like actual musicians and then not musicians. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt just like comes in and he's like playing a tuba, and he's like actually kind of good. So
he is pretty musical though, right?
Oh,
he is, yeah.
God.
Throws the maraca.
Well, maybe there's other musical people.
Yeah, but I like that because he's not like, you don't think of him as a musician, so you do get to see like a different side. And I think we all like appreciate any time when you get like an insight into like the personality of a celebrity beyond what they're known for. And that's what I've always like. I agree with you a little bit on that first episode, Scott, but I just love seeing Ariana Grande in anything because she's so like multi-talented in like music and like so far beyond that. So I love seeing like those various sides, and just seeing like Jimmy like brings out the best in these stars and makes them feel comfortable to like just be kind of goofy. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Also, like, what a fun job. Like, that's your job, Jimmy Fallon, to like come up with these like fun game shows and like play silly instruments with famous people. Bravo. That's all.
Bravo.
Very, very lucky of him.
Yeah. Well, you can check out all of the shows that we just talked about by saying what to watch into your voice remote. You'll be able to see all those shows, or just go to Peacock. Just say Peacock into your voice remote as well.